Hi people, welcome back to Kweshunga. Oh, I am so excited. I am super excited that you're back and that you're chilling with me. My name is Penelope Sanyu and I'm your host for this beautiful show. And in this space, we inspire, we play, and we live. So if you're out there, you're not playing, you're not inspired, you're not living, clearly it's your time to be on Kweshunga. Kweshunga has existed for a while, and today I have an exciting series that I want to introduce to you that we have titled The Saucepans Are Leaking. I'm going to say that again slowly so that you hear it. Yes, the saucepans are leaking. I don't know how many of you grew up in a village or stay in homes where there are saucepans, because some of you don't really cook, so saucepans are very averse to your life. When you have saucepans at home and they begin to leak, it means that you can't use them for anything. You can't cook in them, you can't use them to fetch water, you can't use them to hold anything, because everything that you put in the saucepans will totally seep through or spill through. And it's a terrible thing to grow up in a home where all the saucepans are leaking. Sometimes when you come from a poor home, you don't have the luxury to buy new saucepans, and so every time we had leaky saucepans at home, I remember there was a person in the village that would patch them up. You know, like how tires or slippers get torn and they patch them. That's exactly what this man would do. He would patch the saucepans so that they fix the leakages, and we would continue to use the saucepans for the purposes they were supposed to serve. Why this series? I've been battling with my relationship with mothers, and that's not to say my relationship with my mother is terrible. We have an amazing relationship. My mother and I are cool, but my grandmother and I are cooler. Anyone who knows me and has heard my story knows that my grandmother and I literally talk every day, and we laugh about life. We do so many cool things. I'm unable to do that with my mother, not because it's not possible, but because it's complicated. It's complicated by so many things. It's complicated by the age difference or the age gap, the generational gap, if you want to call it that. It's complicated by our communication styles. It's complicated by our character and our understanding of life and things. It's complicated by everything that's happening today, cultural norms, societal expectations, so many things, so many reasons why we just, for some time, for a very long time, could not coexist, if I use that word. And so I thought that it's important for us to talk about some of the reasons why there are so many leakages in our relationships with our mothers. I know that I'm not the only one that's struggling a little bit to transition and work with my mother, or have a space where we exist in love and not in conflict. So hence the conversation. And so the saucepans are leaking is just an analogy of all the things that are going wrong in our relationships with our mothers. Mother-daughter relationships are key in our lives. They are very key in how we view society, how we build, how we relate, how we eventually grow up and lead and honor people and carry ourselves and serve. And so if there are leakages there, now is the time to patch those relationships. I say I'm not the only one because I took a chance and asked people to share different stories about their relationships with their mothers. And one of the stories that was shared is a letter to a mother. This is a daughter that wants to express some of the things that are unable to be talked about with her mother in her face, and she thought, look, I will put these in a letter, and I've received so many of these letters, I'll be sharing them as we go along if I can. If I can't, I will publish them on our website and social media, so you can also engage with these letters. And so allow me to read this letter to you, and maybe you relate, maybe you don't, but let's have a conversation around these leaky saucepans. The letter goes, Dear Mother, I hope that this letter finds you well. This letter serves to throw some light on some of the challenges we have been facing in our mother-daughter relationship, and to seek ways in which we can work on a better relationship. Growing up has not been a very easy journey for me, as we've been distant, Mother. Even in instances when you were physically present, I have felt the distance between us, especially with regards to my free will to open up and talk to you about what was bothering me, and to talk about what other daughters would love to share with their mothers. I guess this can be attributed to how tough you are, but also your inability to see and to understand that I am of age now, I am an adult. All you see is a child that you birthed so many years ago. But one thing is for sure, Mommy. Time has been far spent since I was born, and I would like to ask you to loosen up a little bit and be more accommodative of my ideas, my thoughts, and my gestures. I write this letter to you asking that we change some of these ways. I know that you have now been separated with Dad for about 7 months. However, we can change the status of our relationship. First, by having small talks that are very impactful and do not end in slander. I know that you may be going through a lot right now, and I recognize that you have been going through a lot to this day. So I pray that God can make our path better. I love you so much, but sometimes you make it so hard for me to love you. What's even sadder is that you make it even more difficult for me to show you the love that I have for you. That said, Mother, thank you for always fighting, and thank you for always persevering in life. Yours faithfully, your daughter. There's so many things I want to say about this letter, but I just want you to sit with it for a little bit. Just take a minute and sit with it. Think about your own relationship with your mother. Think about the ways in which this letter speaks to you, or not, because I know I am very cognizant of the fact that some of you have very rosy and beautiful relationships with your mothers. But if, like the person in this letter, you're struggling with your mother, then this series is for you. This series is here to help us forge a journey of healing and find a way to connect better with our mothers, to connect differently, to communicate and set healthy boundaries, to find ways that we can dismantle the societal expectations and disruptive norms that keep us in fights with our mothers, who are initially supposed to be our besties. So I invite you to follow the series, and I invite you to engage with the guests that I will be hosting for the next few episodes that will come on this show. And I invite you to also share your story if you have one that you think would be beautiful to share for purposes of learning and also for purposes of growth and healing for the people that are engaging with this particular information. I know my voice is even going groggy because this is a very emotional and touchy subject, so I wish you well. I invite you to Kweshunga with us as we deal with this very, very touchy subject.